What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. It is Wednesday, April the 12th. Happy hump day to you. 2023, and in today's glass half full video, we're going to talk about the CPI number that came in less than expected, why that gives the Fed the green light to stop rate hikes at their next meeting. I believe it's May 3rd. How one stock that we currently own is up 123%, or it was in the last several days. And what are some major changes that are coming to small biz before Memorial Day? All that and more coming right up. All right. If you would please, tomorrow is my birthday. I turned the big 5-3. I am grateful to be here. Say something in the comments. Wish me a happy birthday. Tell me I'm full of shit. Save your comment for later when I ask for feedback with respect to our stock texting service and what we're going to do or about to do with respect to small biz. But I'm asking everybody to please give me 15 or 20 minutes. Even if you got to come back over the weekend. Tomorrow's my birthday. I may take Friday off to spend some quality time with my family. So this may be the last video of the week. I would ask that you please, whether it's in 1 or 3 sittings, watch the entire thing, because I'm going to share a number of tips, a number of tricks, a number of risk management techniques. And again, where are we going from here with respect to small biz? And I've been hinting at some of it. Follow me on Twitter at @TrySmallBiz. All right. First of all, the Fed, as far as I'm concerned, is done. Whether they go a quarter at the May 3rd meeting and it's a 50-50 chance based on today's tips market or not, it really doesn't matter. The reason the Dow is up 150 points, the NASDAQ is flat, S&P has added a third of a point, and the small caps, once again, or at least today, are struggling on very low volume, and that's actually bullish. But the Fed, Jerome Powell, when they meet approximately 3 weeks from now, has the green light to stop. The bond market has been telling them to stop now for weeks. The 10-year, the 2-year, the 30-year, the rates are all down today. The VIX is down, the fear index, the US dollar is down almost a full percentage point. That is also bullish. So I could sit here and talk for 3 hours about why the stock market has bottomed for most companies and is in the process, as of 2 weeks ago, of bottoming for the stocks that we own. So with that said, what in the world happened with PBLA as I pull up my other screen? A stock I talked about yesterday. Metastatic cancer, ovarian, liver, pancreas, etc. It was way oversold at 32 cents. I was buying more this past week, as low as 36.5. And I told you last night that these stocks, in my opinion, bottomed when yours truly hit his noggin 10 days ago on a Friday night after too many adult beverages. And many of you, including the worst week we've ever had with respect to premium cancellations. You think folks would wait till the next week after my birthday? No, we've had 12 cancellations, and you know who you are, some of which have made over $500,000. Can you believe that? There are people that I know for a fact because they've shown me statements, and I've met 1 or 2 of them here in Atlanta. They made $500,000 last year, but because we ran into a buzzsaw temporarily, which we've more than cut in half as of this morning, the hell with you. So many of you on Twitter seem to think it's politics. It's not. For every person that hates the fact I think Joe Biden is the worst president in modern times, there's someone who loves it. For every person who hates the fact that I tore Trump and Mitch McConnell and Marco Polo apart in terms of those on the right, there's someone else who loves it. If I wasn't raising hell, if I wasn't sharing my own brand of personal madness every day on Twitter to the tune of 25 or 30 tweets at least, we would not have 11,000 followers. We would not have 160,000 plus across all of our major networks. And no, I'm not on Instagram, Telegram, or any of those WhatsApp sites. The only way you can find me is at trysmallbiz.com. Twitter with the blue check, 11,000. Facebook now has 81,000 because I invest and have for 8 months, $100 a day. I've asked you guys for $1 a day as a premium member. I invest 100 times that, and that's how we got 81,000 strong. And of course, here on YouTube, it's almost 76,000. The challenge that we face, and this goes way back to the beginning, 14 months ago, is not everyone's going to listen to what I tell them to do. Not everyone is going to manage risk by putting 10% or thereabouts into one idea. And 95% of which, and Elon Musk has the same problem. In fact, less than 2% of Twitter is willing to pay, $8 for a blue check? You may have seen Stephen King, William Shatner, and others just raising hell because they've got to pay $8 a month like the rest of us. We live in a world where most people want something for nothing. And we're conditioned that whenever it comes to social media, including the #1 small business directory in America, and notice when I say #1 at trysmallbiz.com, I'm not talking about the biggest. I'm talking about the best. And we're going to hit 7,000 strong this week. So for that, I am very, very grateful. The challenge we have is only 5% or thereabouts, 350, are willing to invest $1 a day. So we are in the midst of a massive clear out. We've had 160 people say, that's it, I'm out. Some of it's because they're struggling, and I truly empathize for those people. Some can't stand the fact that I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I call it like it is. Some hate the bent over the desk reference, the swearing, etc. But I can promise you, for everyone that does, I get emails, I get phone calls, I get tweets. You know what? I don't always agree with what you have to say, Jason, but you tell it like it is, and it's refreshing. And as I said yesterday on Twitter, wait until you see a world that's swallowed up by artificial intelligence. Raw, real, uncut, unedited, your brand right here is going to become a delicacy. It's going to be rare. It's going to be like the dinosaurs. Are they even around? Some think they might still exist at the bottom of the ocean. But my point is, everything's going to be ice cold. X's and O's, zeros and ones, matter of fact, math, science, some machine, some robot, some algorithm feeding you, telling you exactly what to do and what you're not allowed to say. And if you think I can get away with what some of the stuff I say on Twitter 3 or 4 years from now, you're crazy. Last trade, PBLA, 51. Where did I say to get out in the pre-market? 71.2. More on that in a second. But my point is this, ladies and gentlemen. I am never going to change. I have buried both parents in the last 5 or 6 years. And what I can tell you, and I referenced this in another video, ain't nobody coming to your bedside when it's your time to check out. Death is a painful experience. My mother was in a coma. She passed in 2015 when her oldest boy had to decide to pull the plug 3 weeks after a massive stroke. 2 people came. One of her cousins and her best friend. She knew hundreds of people. Same thing with my grandfather. He owned a junkyard and a gas station in upstate New York, and he was at least the number 2 or 3 guy in town. And when he was on hospice, laying in the living room, as my mother was drip feeding him morphine to kill the pain, one guy in town showed up. One. His nickname was Peacock. If you're still around, pal, and you got to be 95 years old, God bless you. But everybody else just couldn't bear the sight of Ray. That was my grandfather's name. They couldn't bear the sight of him motionless. World War II vet. God bless those that have served. So I made a decision months ago, not only to be willing as a grown-ass man to cry on camera or to show you the fact that I got wasted and fell down drunk. I made a decision that I am not going to hold back. There's a lot I can bring to the table, not the least of which is a glass half full mentality. If you want to listen to Peter Schiff, if you want to listen to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you want to listen to those people that have been telling you to buy nothing but gold for the last 10 or 15 years, good luck. If you want to listen to Jim Cramer, who's on CNBC telling people to sell Bitcoin at 16,000, it's now almost doubled, good luck. But if you have listened to me in the last 14 months, we are up this morning 591%. It was 16x. Yes, I gave back more than half of it. I said we would. But 2 weeks ago, we were down 42%. We were in big trouble. I had people call and email, and you wouldn't believe some of the shit they said to me. Words to the equivalent of, you've effed up my life, my retirement account, etc. Because they obviously didn't follow along since the beginning. They didn't manage risk at 10% or thereabouts per idea. But I stayed the course, and I kept telling you guys and gals, I'm going to get you out of this. The same guy who racked up over 100 winners in the last 14 months, at one point was up 16x, is still today up almost 6x, is going to get us out of the ditch. And if you followed the tweet, one of many I shared this morning, there's 7 moves that I've made in the last 2 weeks that took my paper loss from minus 42 to this morning, minus 16.5. Right now, it's about 19.5 because we've had a fade, what's new on MCOM, and a bit of a give back in all the other stuff that we currently own. But it's been more than cut in half. And if it keeps going at the rate it is, if XELA squeezes to a nickel or better, or if MCOM actually gets off its back after a 70+% drawdown since the reverse split, or Mullen actually has PR that they're in production, and it goes back to just where it was a week and a half ago at almost 15 cents, boom, a 42%, which is a nasty drawdown, could be at 10% or less. And at that point, if it happens between now and Memorial Day, you're talking about almost 7x on your money. The S&P under Joe Biden, the worst fucking president in the history of my life. And yeah, if that means another one's going to fire me on my birthday week, fine. The S&P is up only 6.9%. Let's call it 7. We are up almost 100 times the buy and hold forever crowd. That's a fact. So while some of you, a lot of you in fact, about a third of our paying premium members have said, that's it, I'm done, over $1 a day. If you add up all the smoking, drinking, gambling, vaping, etc. that most people do, and you consider the fact that I'm not only giving away ideas that could have 6x'd your money in 14 months, but I'm promoting you and your small business on the homepage 100 times a day at trysmallbiz.com, and every single year to almost 165,000 people around the world for $1. So here's what's going to have to change in order for us to survive. I'm about to send out only my second email in the history of our company. TrySmallBiz.com was incorporated February 23rd of last year. And I greatly appreciate the almost 7,000 that are giving us a shot to help you make money in the markets, as well as at TrySmallBiz.com and our sites around the world. And I'm talking about our social media pages. And the roughly 350 people that are still with us. I ask you to please continue to support us, because if we keep going in reverse, if we keep having people that, whether they don't like my personality or they just can't see the value that we bring to the table, pull the plug, I'll have no other choice but to either close shop or go do something else. My other choice, and it's one that I'm being pushed to do from some very smart people, is to raise the price to at least $2, maybe $3 a day. And before some of you, probably a third that currently pay us $1, fall off your rocker, that would mean, of course, that you get promoted twice as often. So it'd be the same. Instead of get promoted 100 times a day on the homepage, it'd probably go to 200 times a day if 35% or thereabouts say, I'm out of here. And you'd also get promoted to 165,000, soon to be 200,000 before the end of the year, twice a year, instead of once. So it's still the same value, dollar for dollar. And who knows, I may come up with 2 or 3 other ways to promote and or support you and your family. But let's be honest. When a cup of coffee down the street from me at Starbucks is $5.50, $6 a day, don't tell me that $1. When I'm spending $100 a day after losing $6,500 a month, 160 go out the door, do the math. I can't afford to lose almost $7,000 a month. I'm sucking it up. I'm still the same guy I was when we had all those people on board, and I ain't ever going to change. But I am asking everybody, if you're still with me on this video, $1. I'm going to send out an email to 7,000 people. Half are going to open it based on the last time we did it. That's around 3,500 people, let's say 3,200 of which are free. If just 5% of them, our current conversion rate that has a premium, says I'll give $1 a day to keep it at 1, we're at our goal of 500 strong. And then I'm at Discord and or Patreon, and we come up with a private text service. But some of you that keep pushing me in that direction, do you realize that most of the people recently anyway that fired us with respect to premium membership are people that lost money in the stock market? They gave up on me, the strategy, or what have you. So it's not going to be just as easy as pie to get several hundred people to allow me to text them when we keep losing the very same people who brought that idea to the table 3 months ago. But once again, in case you can't hear me, we're going to send out an email to 7,000 people, half will open. If just 5%, our current conversion rate, say I'll give this guy $1 a day to grow my business and continue to do what he does on Twitter. We've had some guys, you'll see him under the name of Roger Fung on Twitter. He showed a screenshot. He's made over $50,000. Now, some of that has been given back on paper, but let's say he's still up $30,000. He paid me $1 a day and he just re-upped. So he's got what, $720 in the game, and he's made $35,000, $40,000. There are people that have made $300,000, $400,000 and they pay me $1 damn dollar. So I hope and I pray, and I'm going to do my first YouTube short video of 1 minute or less where I outline the 14 things, the extras that you get for $1 a day. And if you want to know what they already are, you just hit the Get Premium button and everyone can see it now, whether you're premium or free. You log into your account. There's a button at the top. It says Get Premium Plus, and it clearly outlines everything you get for $1. And what's not in there is this. What's not in there are the tweets. What's not in there are the stock picks that, despite the recent drawdown, are still up 6x in the last 14 months. So in closing, why did I sell PBLA? Well, it's risk management. We had a stock, PBLA, in the cancer business go from 87 after a reverse split 3-4 months ago, split adjusted, to 32 cents. I started buying it in the low ones. And I kept buying even recently at 36.5 a few days ago because I believe in the company and I was aware of the fact that some news regarding their pipeline was going to come out. In fact, they said so in the last earnings release. So I got my average, along with many of you, down from 112 to 76.5 this morning. Well, lo and behold, I wake up in the pre-market and I see the damn thing's up over 50%. And I shared a picture and I started tweeting and I got everybody prepared for the 7 a.m. open. And I was sitting there, as I always am, literally with my E-Trade app open and my Twitter at the same time. And I actually, in most cases, start writing the tweet. PBLA, red circle, which means sell or hold, sold at XYZ price. And I got it ready, and it opens at 7 o'clock, and it traded from 69 and change to close to 72. I sold it. I hit tweet. It was within, in today's case, 3 seconds tops. And you had about 30 minutes to sell it north of 68. And even after the 9:30 open, when it got down to as low as 50 cents, where it is right now, it melted back up to close to 65. So if you sold the stock as I did, let's say between 65 and 71 and change, and the high of the pre-market was close to 74, you just effectively got 2 and maybe 2.5 tricas. TRKA. We sold it a few days ago at 28.40 in the after hours, I believe, on Thursday of last week. Last trade, 25.5. The reason I sold it is because I saw the S3 filing that they finally admitted to yesterday was going to mean some form of dilution. Whether it's now, whether it's next week, whether it's after the reverse fucking split, who knows? So I said, make it take it. The same principle applies to PBLA. We were down 68% at all-time lows of 32 cents. We got our average down, as good as anyone owns it, at 76 and change. We got the news this morning, and it's on the back of very good news for the last several days, and I turned a 68% drawdown into a 6% realized loss like that. That is the same as me giving you 2, maybe 2.5, close to 3 tricas. Because if you're down 68%, you got to have 80 to 90% on the next one just to get back to even. So getting out of that ditch at 71.2 is the same as me giving you another and working on a third TRKA profit of north of 30%. And when you factor that in where we were this morning, when XELA in particular was 0.44 in the pre-market, I at one point had gone from minus 42 on paper in terms of my drawdown 2 weeks ago when I said we bottomed to 16%. And that's nothing. If you've been trading small caps, penny stack cap stocks, small cap penny stocks, a 15 to 20% drawdown, which I said is going to happen once or twice a year, is nothing. You can go from the outhouse to the penthouse like that. In fact, we have. So if you're down more than 20%, you're not following the risk management guidelines. You're not following me in and out. And by the way, for all you that keep telling me you don't have a chance to follow me in real time, I pin at the top of the wall every day, sometimes 3 times a day. Anytime I make a move, all you got to do is check me out at Try Small Biz on Twitter. And for every one that I sell that goes down, there'll be one I sell that goes higher. I very well, as one example, I might sell XELA if it runs before their May 3rd or 4th meeting. I might sell it in the 5s. To me, I'm thinking, I just cut my loss from 50 some odd percent to 15, and it might keep on running. And some of you that don't catch it or don't want to sell it for whatever reason at that moment will be better off. So the moral of the story is all you got to do is check the Twitter wall once a day, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night before you go to bed. Green means buy. Red means hold. Anything I've sold, I mention it in the blurb on the pin post, or just check the wall. In other words, there's no excuse anymore. All you got to do is check the wall once a day. Half of what I sell is going to go higher. Half of what you buy is going to go lower. It's all the same in the end. And speaking of the end, one more time. Get a premium membership. If you're new and you're watching me, I racked up over 100 winners in the last 12 months. We had 27 in a row last July and August. We were up 16x at one point. Insane. We're still up close to 6x. If it's me, and you are new, or you're part of the 6,400 and change, actually 6,600 and change that are already at Try Small Biz, I get the annual right now. I lock in the annual right now for 12 months because if I'm forced to raise it to, let's say, $2 a day, somewhere around the 4th of July, because nobody responds to the email, you've got $360 instead of $700 or thereabouts, and I'll probably keep it under that. In fact, I'll go on record right now. Right now, it's about a 15% discount if you pay by the year. The monthly, however, is $36 a month, which is obviously $6 or thereabouts more than $1 a day. If I am forced, and I don't want to be forced, but if I am forced to raise it to, let's say, $2 a day, I'm going to keep it under that amount. So I'll keep the annual at 6 and change instead of 7 and change. Actually, could be as low as 5 and change. And I'll do the same with the monthly. So everyone, regardless if you're paid by the month, cancel any time, or the annual, you get the discount. That's if in July I'm forced to go. But if we can get just 5% and get to 500 premium members strong, I can keep it at $1 a day. I'm not in this to make millions of dollars. I do quite well in the stock market, even in the midst of all this madness. I just need 500 people to consider $1 a day at trysmallbiz.com. So thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Tomorrow's a big day. Always remember that I love you guys, and I really appreciate you watching.